Ba weeb grana weeb ninny bang YouTube, RedWhiteandBluestreak here, and as the title card suggests, today we're taking a look at SH Figuarts Sasuke Uchiha, ninja prodigy of the Uchiha clan Bloodline. So this figure, like the other Naruto figures we've looked at so far, is a part of the newer line of Naruto-themed SH Figuarts figures. A redone and expanded line of Naruto-themed merch from Tamashii Nations, with this one, like the Sakura we looked at before, being the first for the line. Now, I went over who Sasuke was in my Shippuden Sasuke review, but Shippuden Sasuke and Part 1 Sasuke are two totally different animals in some regards. Both are driven by revenge, but in Shippuden the target of that revenge changes a few times, before eventually his objective isn't even revenge anymore. In Part 1, this Avenger is a young prodigy that is always obsessed with power, revenge against his brother Itachi for the murder of his family and clan, and a bit of jealousy for the decreasing, then increasing power gap between him and our #1 knuckle-headed ninja thrown in there for good measure, which comes to a fever pitch in his first battle with Naruto in the Valley of the End. So starting with the packaging for this Uchiha clan survivor, we are once again treated to the beautiful calligraphy style illustration for the figure on the front, with a nice blue gradient going along with Sasuke's attire in Part 1. Glad to see that they're keeping up this trend and hope it'll continue throughout the figure line. It certainly seems like it. Getting the Uchiha out of his plastic prison, there's a lot to unpack here. But before that, I gotta mention how amazingly solid this figure is, as well as the beautiful sculpt and paintwork on this figure. Though as far as painting goes, I kind of wish we got some paint for his curse mark, considering an accessory that comes with another figure from this Naruto line that we'll go over eventually here. But it's not the biggest deal. It's not like I'll always be looking at him from that angle anyways. Not gonna lie, after my initial experience with Shippuden Naruto, I've been very careful to inspect every joint on these figures for any defects or flaws like that, and so far, so good. There's been talk of Tamashii Nations getting a different factory to manufacture their products overseas, and apparently a lot of those products made there have had some crazy, unexpected, and unacceptable defects across the entire production of those figures. Looking at you, Zoro. But luckily, it seems like the Naruto line hasn't been affected. In the past, I mentioned that Shippuden Sasuke was able to make a Sasuke figure that looked like he leapt right out of the manga and anime from nearly every angle, and I'm happy to say that with this Sasuke, they've gone full Roger Rabbit and given us a figure that successfully accomplishes that from every angle flawlessly. I've tried looking up who was in charge of designing this figure so I could pay them their dues, but I couldn't find anything. No name of a designer, no even little group that designed this figure. So if anyone knows that, please leave that in the comments down below, because whoever designed this deserves their dues. And of course, that extends to the numerous accessories we get with him. Seriously, compared to other figures that I've looked at, they've gone beyond for this one. Alright, so I guess we gotta start somewhere in this huge line of accessories, so starting with the faces. Out of the box, he has his resting angst face. Besides that, he has his trademark cocky smirk, a yelling face with Sharingan active, a blowing face to go with another accessory, or it could be a kissing face depending on how you take it. I don't judge. And a comedic reaction face, which is an oddly specific reference to one filler episode from Shippuden. Honestly, I appreciate this as an addition for Sasuke. It's nice to see a comedic side every once in a while. Now for hands, jeez, we've got a lot to go through here. He has closed fists out of the box, along with a set of open, gripping hands. A set of open hands that can be used for either taunts or for Sasuke to steal Lee's whole gimmick.
He copied my whole flow! Word for word, bar for bar!
Hand meant to go with his fireball jutsu accessory, which also has its own stand. Real quick, I just want to take a second to appreciate the fact that they gave a stand for this fireball jutsu effect. It's a fantastic look for this figure. Though I kind of wish we had the option to use the Phoenix Flower Jutsu, you know, just a bunch of different little fire effects that are linked with some sort of little transparent plastic piece. And considering that it's detachable from the stand, I kind of hope that maybe some company out there is going to do that. But regardless, I'm happy with what we got, don't get me wrong. Right, going back to the hands, there are a set of open fists to hold his included kunai accessory, a combined set of hands for him starting to cast a jutsu, a chidori accessory, and a set of special open hands to go with the included Demon Wind Shuriken, included in a separate tray in the box. In all honesty, this and the Fireball Jutsu display were the main things I was looking forward to with this set when it was revealed. Sure, the Demon Wind Shuriken is something that was only used once in the first part of Naruto, but come on! You gotta admit this is cool! It became such an iconic moment in the series, so I think most people would have been disappointed if we didn't get this accessory here. The only accessory I wish we ended up getting is a set of arms without the arm warmers. It'd be an awesome small touch to get him looking like how he did during the fight at the Valley of the End, along with the other accessory that comes with Orochimaru. But once again, I'm more than happy with what we've got here. And little did I know, I'd also have a figure that's seemingly a lot more posable than the Shippuden counterpart when it comes to this figure. There's a ball joint at the head allowing for the full range of motion. He can look up that far and down that far. There's also a tilt at the neck, so you can tilt that way or that way quite a bit. The arm can move around all the way, but it's a little weird how you do it. Arm can move out that far. There's a butterfly joint going that far forward and that far back. There's a rotation at the bicep and a double jointed bend at the elbow. Wrist can swivel around, and there's also a hinge. Limited waist swivel. There's a nice arch and an ab crunch. Legs can split out all the way. They can kick forward that far and back that far. There's a rotation at the thigh as well. There's a double jointed bend at the knee, rotation just above the knee. There's a tilt at the ankle, a rotation at the ankle. The foot can hinge up that far and down that far, and the toes are on a hinge. Tamashii Nations did not have to go this hard for their Part 1 Naruto subline. And I say that because the Naruto figure from this era is just as well articulated as this guy, which we'll touch on when we get to his review. And of course, you guessed it, he looks even better on a figure stand. Honestly, with the amount of poses you could get this Uchiha Avenger into, you'd think he was Spider-Man or something. Overall, it should be obvious that I absolutely adore this figure. Sasuke was probably my favorite character from Part 1, right alongside Zabuza, and they absolutely did him justice. Please make a figure of Zabuza, please make a figure of Zabuza, please make a figure of Zabuza, please, please, please. The colors are just right. The sculpt work is somehow better than it is on the Shippuden figure. The articulation is nothing short of spectacular. The paint work is nearly perfect for the main figure and the faces. And the accessories, though leaving a small amount to be desired, are well beyond the standard that we've seen in this figure line, as well as others from what I've seen and experienced. Look, I've got to give this figure a 5 out of 5, even bearing in mind the small things that I wish we got, because even then I feel this figure more than makes up for it in other departments, ultimately being worth every penny I've spent. If you're a Naruto fan and have the opportunity to nab this figure, don't even think twice. This is by far the best Sasuke figure I think we've ever seen, and I can only wonder how they would improve on this if we ever get figures based on the Chunin exams arc, or the hospital fight scene, or even a curse mark figure. Just like what he aimed for in Part 1, I think this figure is absolute plastic perfection.